Married at First Sight, Season 20, Episode 4. Let's recap and break down some of the biggest moments for these couples that just got to their honeymoon. Spoiler alert, we are going to talk about Shawn and Nikki and what we can learn about repair from them. The second lesson made me really sad for Devin, and then at least one of the other lessons why relationships fail before you ever get a chance to realize it's in trouble. For Shawn and Nikki's first conflict, the biggest lesson there is that when you're talking to an evidence-based communicator, they're not going to measure the success of a conversation by the emotional connection. And I think Nikki and her training in human resources is showing up here. She's very intentional with putting the person first. Shawn, being with his training in education, is putting the evidence first. He wants to understand, where is your evidence? Okay, show me something. Don't just tell me that you've changed. Don't just tell me that you've grown and learned something. You have to show me what you've learned. Shawn is not trying to evaluate Nikki as a person, because I heard her say this feels like a job interview. Shawn is just trying to evaluate the claims that she's making. But by contrast, Nikki is over here evaluating not necessarily the questions he's asking, but how those questions made her feel. The two of them just communicate very differently, and that's not going to change overnight because it is ingrained in you. However you practice life or whatever lens you see things through, it's going to keep showing up. Changing the way you communicate is hard. The secondary lesson in their relationship is repair. If y'all notice, Shawn woke up, brought her coffee, apologized for coming off too forward the night before. He said, I'm gonna have to slow things down with you. And she appreciated that because repair is important. Because Shawn is able to take in new information and not let it stick to his ego so much, I think that's why every day feels like a new opportunity. Nikki even told the girls, I appreciate that he meditates and that he's spiritual, and that every day it just starts over for him. And he's willing to take on new information and jump to a different conclusion with me, even though it didn't look like it was gonna work out at first. I think that there's so much opportunity for them to continue to grow together because he's willing to learn and grow and evolve with her. Healthy repair is more important than perfection. Now, we have to talk about Caitlin and Devin, because initially I thought Devin was going to be the primary issue in this relationship. However, listening to them speak, what I realize is Caitlin is making it clear that she does not view herself as a golden retriever type, but she likes a golden retriever because she's a black cat. This fixed construct of what people are in a relationship is not doing her any justice. In my opinion, it would be more important that she's able to meet his needs and save her marriage than worrying about how she identifies as some type of archetype. I think if she prioritized the fact that he needs her, he doesn't really need a lot of personal space, and she was willing to compromise and be open and honest with him from the beginning instead of running off to the gym by herself, she could do a lot better in this relationship. I want Caitlin to be as committed to showing up in this relationship as a better person each and every day as she is to this black cat theory. That role is really boxing her in when in reality it's supposed to just be a descriptor. But if you're not willing to change, grow, and evolve with your partner, your marriage is never gonna work anyways, because that is a core part of marriage and partnership is you have to change with the person. And every day, every week, every year, they're becoming a different person, and you're gonna have to learn and grow and shift with them as their needs change. I worry that because Caitlin is so busy trying to be independent, she's missing out on the partnership piece that he needs. And he's being very explicit and clear. Y'all let me know what you think about Caitlin and Devin though, because I really did not see this coming, that Devin would be the one to want authentic partnership in all aspects of life, and that Caitlin would be the one to pull back emotionally. We do have to talk about Nick and Courtney. I'm convinced the hardest relationships to watch aren't the ones with the most drama. It's harder to watch a relationship where the two people aren't on the same page, that they're even in conflict. Watching Courtney tell Caitlin how much she does not want to be locked in with Nick immediately, hurt my feelings because I was watching Nick say the complete opposite, that he wanted to work harder for her affection so that he wouldn't end up friend zoned, and that he wanted to get even more affectionate with her because he thought it would bring them closer together. And when she did speak to him about it, it was like, I want you to be goofy. I want you to be loud and outgoing. And if that's not the partner you got, baby, you got to work with what you got. So it's nothing wrong inherently with her saying that and acknowledging it, but it almost made me feel like she was mourning something she did not have instead of appreciating what she does have, which is partnership and companionship with another person and all the possibilities to get to know him in different facets. I'm sure there's so much more that she could get to know about him, even though she swears they've been together 24/7 and there's nothing else they could talk about. That tells me that you just aren't a good conversationalist, because there's so much to learn about people. If you are running out of things to say in 4 or 5 days, I think that is also a you issue, not just a Nick issue. And did anybody else pick up on the fact that her attention span is not the best? I wonder if Courtney's not ready for this type of experiment where you have to slow down to get to know someone in depth and not just bounce from topic to topic or thing to thing or activity to activity, date to date. And you have to get to know the person. Conversation is the cornerstone of making a married at first sight marriage work. You can't skip that step. And I'm thinking that Courtney's used to just occupying her time with activities and things to do and jokes and laughs and parties. But sitting in that silence and just talking to your person is really what's going to build that bond. And I do hope that they can work through this, because I do think Nick is really trying to be intentional with her. Episode 4 is basically all about compatibility. When you think about it, do you understand how your partner communicates with you? Do their needs align with yours? And does their love language align with yours? And are they willing to fight for this relationship even when they're a little bit disappointed? Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about episode 4. These are my biggest takeaways, but what was yours?